Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to this latest episode of Movies America. Spoiler warning here. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen you and you've seen me, your humble host, as always, Van Ebert, a.k.a. Movies America. I've had a not-so-nice blend of technical snafus and construction and, out-of-town plans that have kept us apart for a few episodes here during the last week or two. But, hopefully we can get back to business as usual, okay? Or I should point the finger at me. I can get back to business as usual. And we can keep this Movies America train chugging along, all right? And so, to that end, let's get on with this Movies America spoiler warning episode. But first, this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies America.
All right, everybody. All right, let's get right into this episode, this Fantastic Four First Steps episode of Movies America. Spoiler warning. And real quick here, just let me take a second here to remind you that you guys can live chat with me, and that way we can communicate with each other. And you can live chat with me through Rumble, and it's very easy. If you're on Rumble, just look for the button that's called Chat, and click on that button. It'll open up a window there for you, and you'll be able to type in whatever live chat message you want. And then also you can live chat with me through YouTube as well. And I believe the button there is like called live chat or something like that. And get in there and just, let me know that you're here, or type in there or message whatever you want. So it doesn't have to be the Gettysburg Address. Okay. I'm not looking for, war and peace. If you want to just give me a thumbs up or a hi or a poop emoji or whatever, or, whatever your heart desires. Okay. Go ahead and put that in the live chat right there. And so I wanted to remind you, because that is one of the perks of doing a live show and not pre-recorded like most of the movie critic shows or movie review shows on Rumble and YouTube. I do this live, and so that's just one of the ways I stand out from the millions and millions, or maybe thousands of other movie review shows out there. But anyway, let's get into some movies. It's some Fantastic Four First Steps here. And this episode is going to work a little differently than most, because I thought that I was bringing you a spoiler-free review of Fantastic Four First Steps as usual on my Movies America live show back last Sunday. But as I found out the hard way, as the episode ended, I had basically been talking to myself on camera for 45 minutes, thinking I was bringing you a spoiler-free review of Fantastic Four, and it turned out my live streaming software zigged when it should have zagged, and it just wasn't working right, and that kind of thing. It got totally hosed. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing you more of my review points, my review bullet points to this show, are all about Fantastic Four First Steps in this normally spoilery episode here, and it's going to be spoilery in this episode as well. That's what the Movies America spoiler warning show is all about. I don't worry if I drop a spoiler or two or anything like that. So if you're worried about spoilers, either tune off right now, or just if you want to help me out, keep the show on, but just mute it, because I get credit for the watch minutes, whether you mute it or not. And if you do that, hey, I definitely appreciate it. It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost me any money, but you're still helping me out with watching the show. Okay, so let's check things out over here. And there we go. I like that. Jim Melton, He's ready. Hey, welcome to the show there, Jim. And as we get into some movies, all right, so I keep saying movies, America, as we keep getting into, or get ready to get into some Fantastic Four first steps up in here. So right off the bat, I am going to tell you that I thought that Fantastic Four first steps was just very formulaic, very predictable. It just didn't really give me anything that really blew my skirt up or anything like that. I mean, it's now I think I would have appreciated it more if I was a comic book fan. You know, if I'd been reading Fantastic Four comics, you know, since I was like, I'm just going to make up an age, like 7 years old or something. And then, you know, we get this latest movie version of Fantastic Four, I would probably appreciate it more there. I'd be like, oh, there's Mr. Fantastic, and there's Johnny Storm, and oh, there's Galactus, and wow, oh, this is so awesome. It's so sweet, you know. But I'm not a comic book reader. I just didn't read comics when I was a kid, and so I don't have that extra thing out there to help me appreciate a movie like Fantastic Four First Steps, even if it is predictable and formulaic and just like so many other things we've already seen, especially in the last 20, 25 years, where we have just gotten inundated with superhero movie after superhero movie after superhero movie. Okay. It is, again, in the, you know, the era, the last 20, 25 years of Marvel and DC has proven the mantra that, yes, it is possible to have too much of a good thing. Okay. Sometimes you want to give people a chance to miss you and leave people wanting more, but you can't accomplish that if you just keep releasing Drek after Drek after Drek. Okay. Now, in Marvel's case, they did a bang-up job releasing great movies for the first, 9, 10 years that they were, you know, out with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting, of course, in 2008 with Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, and then all the way through 2019 through Endgame. That era was at phase 1, 2, and 3 of Marvel. Just a chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Fantastic. I didn't mind that they had, 1 or 2 movies a year, because the movies that they were putting out were high-quality movies, okay? But then after phase 3, Marvel started, you know, shitting the bed and coming out with the Drek that we just get from them here on out on the normal, on the regular, right? And so with Fantastic Four First Steps, it's not as bad as some of the things that they've come out with here recently. And most certainly is no Eternals. Okay, it is much better than Eternals. It's better than Thunderbolts and what's like Black Widow. You know, things like that. I you know where I would put it? I would put it like on the same level as like Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which that movie was all right. It was watchable. It was watchable once. Okay. There. And so I would say Fantastic Four First Steps is, well, I was going to say, for me, it wasn't even watchable once because I have to say that I don't know if this is a credible movie review of Fantastic Four First Steps, because to be quite honest with you guys, I was doing some good catching up on my sleep during this movie. Okay, I don't know what it is with me. I mean, I know it's not just me, because I have seen plenty of movies in the theater here recently where I've been wide awake, eyes bugged out of my head, totally alert, you know, getting the movie, grasping the movie, you know, where the movie has 110% of my attention. And, you know, like F1 is a good example of that there, you know, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, movies like that. So it's not just, you know, me, once I get into a movie theater, I just started getting a little sleepy. I just had to get sleepy in the theater. No, it's not that. It's not something like that. It's the movie. It's the movie and the content. And so just because Fantastic Four First Steps just came off as like a by the numbers superhero movie, you know, you've got your superhero team, they got their headquarters, you meet the superhero team, you meet the members, and you know they're trying to portray like they've got camaraderie and they're bonding, and you know then there's bad guys, and you know the bad guys are are posing a threat to them, and then the superheroes have to use their respective superpowers or skills or whatever, or detective skills if you're Batman, and go up against the bad guy. And our superheroes, they might die. So and then there's it's just very formulaic, very by the numbers like that. And so because it was that way, I involuntarily kept dozing off. I didn't want to. I did not want to, but I know I was dozing off because as I've been doing my research for like last Sunday's episode and tonight's episode, I've been watching plenty of like YouTube commentaries on Fantastic Four First Steps and other reviews, and shows on YouTube about like Easter eggs that that you might have missed in the movie and that kind of thing. And as I've watched those, one thing has become glaringly clear: I missed a lot of this movie. Okay, because they're describing scenes where I'm like, was that scene in the movie? Because I don't remember seeing it. Was that scene in the movie? Okay, all right. Okay, I guess it was. I must have been asleep, and that was indeed the case. I was asleep. Like they would show the scene where I missed the entire part where the Fantastic Four got on their spaceship, which I believe is called Excelsior, and flew out to space to try to find Galactus. I completely missed that. Okay, I think I woke up at one point in that. Like, I think they blasted off. Apparently, they went and looked for Galactus, and then I think I woke up at the part where they're by the Galactus ship, or was it the World ship, or whatever the hell his ship is called, and they're trying to escape his ship. I think that's when I woke up. And then the Silver Surfer is chasing them, as they're trying to get away from Galactus. I think I saw that. I think I dozed off right in the middle of that because the next thing I know, they're at home again, and they're giving a press conference, and the reporters are asking them like, "Are we safe? What do we make of this? Like, are we doomed?" And Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal, is like, I don't know if you're safe or not. I don't know. So that's all that to say that I was dozing off. And so, yeah, I don't know if I can count this as a legitimate review of the movie because, again, I was trying to stay awake. Trust me. And I had plenty of sleep the night before. I was, believe me, as usual, I was plenty caffeinated going into that movie there. Just the movie content just made me a little sleepy. A little sleepy. I had to get a little dream time in there. Okay, the Sandman was a coming. Okay, so I don't know, but make of this review what you will. Right there. So, but if you want a movie that is a good origin story for a superhero team, check out like X-Men First Class. Remember that came out with probably like 15, 16 years ago at this point there with James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, who we just saw as Lex Luthor in Superman, directed by, I think the guy who did Kick-Ass and just did the god-awful Argyle movie there. So like name is escaping me right now. So but yeah, so that was a great one. Why am I see that's a problem, like having a show late at night. I forget things that I normally would remember. All that stuff right there. But that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it right there. And yeah, real quick here, I just want to check out here and give Jim his due here. Says he wasn't happy with Ben Grimm in the movie. All right, okay. So what weren't you happy about with Ben Grimm in the movie there? You got my curiosity piqued there, Jim. I'd say like some people, the complaint they have about Ben Grimm is you didn't see a whole lot of Ben Grimm in the movie, right? I think they only seen they saw with actual Ben Grimm and not the Thing is, like the sizzle reel that they played at the beginning of the movie, the flashback where they showed Ben Grimm, in his astronaut suit getting ready to take off with the rest of the party or with the rest of the gang. And you really didn't see Ben Grimm, for the rest of the movie. It was all the Thing from that point right there. So that's one thing that I've heard about the Ben Grimm portrayal in this. So, and actually, I kind of like Michael Chiklis's take on Ben Grimm, the Thing. I like that better. Back, in the one that came out in 2005. I think they had the sequel that came out like the 2007 or 2008. The one with like Ian Gruffudd, if that's how you say his name. And then it was the hot as hell Jessica Alba. And then Chris Evans, before he was Captain America, as Johnny Storm, there are the Human Torch. But I like Michael Chiklis better as a Thing in that. I'm biased probably because I always liked Michael Chiklis in The Shield, the TV series there on FX, which has nothing to do with Fantastic Four. But I just always liked Michael Chiklis as Vic Mackey in The Shield there. And so when I heard that he was being cast as a Thing, I'm like, all right, yeah, you go, Vic Mackey. There you go. You got to have a career after The Shield. And so I was happy about that. But, my opinion was tainted there with that. So, but that's all I got to say about that. Absolutely. Okay. So, all right. Hey, you know what? I'm going to get a tug off my beer over here. And that's my cue to remind you that, if you guys are drinking or something like that here, if you got a beverage in front of you, hey, go ahead and hoist it back because, I'm about to. All right. And I'll be talking about this beer in more detail later on, of course, in brew review time there. So, but real quick here, let me remind you that there is this thing called the like button down there. Okay, just right on down there. And if you would be so kind to click that like button on this episode, that would be super duper fantastic. All right, like the Fantastic Four, that would be fantastic. And it doesn't cost you anything, okay? And if you're feeling particularly industrious, hey, well, feel free to go into, a bunch of my old episodes and just, go like crazy, just click the like button on all my old episodes. That'd be fantastic, all right? And then also, even more important, if you would, if you haven't already, is, wherever you're watching this episode at, Rumble, YouTube, if you're watching it later on X, aka used to be Twitter, if you would hit that subscribe or follow button right on down there. It's right on down there somewhere. Okay, it's probably giving you the old side eye if you haven't clicked it already. It's kind of like, why haven't you clicked on me yet? Are you too good? Are you too good to click on me, man? So if you want to get rid of that annoying side eye, then just go ahead and click on that follow or subscribe button on Rumble, YouTube, X, wherever. Okay. And then also there's that notification bell down there as well. And that does exactly what it sounds like it does. It notifies you. Now, not necessarily with a bell, but it'll at least send you like an email letting you know that, hey, buddy, old pal of mine, hey, there's a brand new piping hot, fresh episode of Movies America waiting for your viewing pleasure or available for your viewing pleasure. Okay, so or an upcoming live episode, because of course these episodes are always live first, and then it's a recording. Okay, so I know, mind blowing. That's how videos on the internet work. All right, so there you go. Now, if you didn't have the chance to watch the show live, as I see plenty of people are watching this show live right now, well, hey, that's cool. I mean, that's totally cool. I know we got things to do, man. All right, you got to do some gardening. You're on the road with your 18-wheeler, with your basset hound to your side and whatnot. You're just on the open road, or you're riding around in an ambulance or an EMT. Point is, you're busy. You can't watch the show live, okay? But we can still hear from each other, okay? We can still communicate with each other, and that is done via the comments section that is also down below, the comments section. And each Movies America episode has a comment section, of course. And let me know in the comments section. I guess first thing that comes to mind is, I guess, what do you think of the show? And be brutally honest. If you don't like it, hey, feel free to let me know. I take constructive criticism. I don't know how to get better, unless I get input, or if there's something that I do very well or something that I like in particular. Hey, let me know and I'll do more of it. Okay. And, or hey, you can let me know, hey, what do you think of the Fantastic Four First Steps? What's your favorite superhero movie? The comment world is your oyster. You can comment about whatever you want. Okay. Love, hate, death threats, whatever. Okay. Not that I've ever got a death threat, but you never know. There's a first time for everything right there. Okay. But that's enough. That's enough about the comment section right there. I think I've got the point across. They're all about that with the comment section here as I try to do a little house cleaning over here. There we go. All right. Yeah. So again, point of all that is I want to hear from you. That's what I want to hear from you right there. Okay. So, all right. More movies, America, spoiler warning. All right. So I did think I'm not going to shit on this movie all night long. Okay. I'm going to say some nice things about it. And I think one of the good things about Fantastic Four First Steps is I did like the production design. The production design I thought was done very well. It's some very good world building, very intricate. You felt very immersed in the world here. And now, just to let you know, so in this movie, and they'll let you know right away, this is not the Earth that we see in most of the Marvel movies. Okay, like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, all those movies. The Earth in those movies, that's Earth 616. And in Fantastic Four First Steps, this is Earth 828. It's all part of that whole multiverse, crap that Marvel, is introducing or has introduced there. So this is Earth 828. Okay, that's why you'll see some different architecture in the city that I guess is supposed to be New York City. You'll see some architecture that doesn't look quite like New York City does in Earth or on Earth 616 right there. Okay, so but the world that they do build, like this 1960s era retro look where you got the Fantastic Four and there's living this heroic life in the 60s, and you've got like trademarks or I guess keystones of the 60s where you've got like this Ed Sullivan type variety show that you see right off the bat of the movie. But I think what's called like the Ben Gilbert show it's the Ted Gilbert show. That's right. Ted Gilbert show in this. And so it's this whole 60s world. You see, 60s era kind of retro looking cars and tech. You got every TV screen is like a tube TV screen there. It's not the flat screens that we have now. Just in the marketing and the advertisements, just the lettering, the fonts, the imagery is all 60s. And they do a very good job with that there, with immersing you in that 60s world here in Fantastic Four First Steps there. So I will give them their flowers on that. They did a good job immersing you in that. You get the Fantastic Four and the people in this world, like just walking around this town, as if it's not just a movie set. It's a full-fledged city. And they do a fantastic job with the CGI in this. So, yeah, it's so I will give it that. It's due for that. It's kind of like a George Jetson or a Jetsons type environment there. It's very Sid Mead, okay? And if you don't know who that is, just look up Sid Mead. And it just looks like that futuristic world that people in the 50s and 60s thought we would have by now. What fools. What rubes. They thought that we'd have flying cars and all that by now. They apparently they forgot we have these things called human beings, yes, and agendas and egos and political leanings, or political agendas and all that stuff. So that kind of thing that keep us and lobbyists and corporations that want to keep us away from that stuff, that kind of thing, and love to halt progress right there. But I thought I spotted something out of my right eye right there. Hey, Beyond Formal, how you doing, man? He says, "What's up?" Popping in to say hello. All right, and he says, "Yeah, don't want to spoiler on this, but good to watch." He says that he heard it was good, and my consensus on this here, Beyond Formal. And first off, again, yeah, thanks for joining here. I cannot rightfully recommend going to see this at the theaters. You can most definitely wait to go check it out on live stream here coming up, and probably in 10 minutes. Well, maybe not that soon, but a month or two or whatever. You can afford to wait until then, unless you're a big comic book nerd and you just got to go see Fantastic Four First Steps at the theater, or of course, if you're a parent and you've got your wee ones, pulling on your sleeve and, "Mom, Dad, take me to Fantastic Four First Steps, or you don't love me. Come on, win!" Like if you got kids like want you to take them to the movie and they won't stop nagging you, then of course, yes, go take their urchins to the movie, to Fantastic Four at the theater. But outside of those two scenarios, Beyond Formal, you can wait right there. So, but and I'm not surprised you heard it was good. Obviously, there's some people that liked this movie. I would say that okay. So here we go. I'll say something nice about it, or something nice about it. I think it's the best. Now, before you start going out there and creating an altar to Fantastic Four First Steps, let me give you this caveat. Superman is, I think, the top superhero movie overall this year. And I wasn't really a big fan of Superman that much either. So that might shed some light on how I feel about Fantastic Four First Steps. Okay. Now, Fantastic Four First Steps, it's a harmless movie. It's not divisive or anything like that. It's just, to me, it's just too cookie cutter. It's too by the numbers. It just blends in with too many other things. And so that's why I just can't, because I'm trying to look out for people that watch the show either live or watch it later on. And I'm trying to save you guys money. Okay. Because I know, movies aren't cheap. They are not cheap. That's one thing that keeps people from going to the movies. Is it's a lot cheaper. I get it. It's a lot cheaper to go grab yourself a big stack of Totino's pizzas and take them home and just watch your movies at home. And hey, you can pause the TV if you got to go take a leak. And I get it, and it's a lot cheaper. I totally understand that right there. So because I only want you, when you go to the theater, to get a great theater, a great movie experience. Okay, I only recommend the best, the good, the great, the best movies, and recommend those types of movies to go see at the theaters. And I couldn't, in good conscience, recommend going to see this, and because I could see some people going to see this movie, and afterwards, I could see a lot of people coming out of this movie, and afterwards, wanting to curse my name and going, "Man, Van, what the hell? I just put down $150 to take the whole family to that garbage. What the hell? Why'd you recommend Fantastic Four First Steps, you loser?" So I can easily avoid that happening if I just stick to my guns and my conscience and my true beliefs, and just outright tell you, yeah, you don't have to go see this at the theater. No, you can wait. All right, so probably a lot longer answer than you wanted, Beyond Formal. But speaking of Beyond Formal, check them out on Rumble. If you are on Rumble, which is the better alternative to YouTube, unless you need to watch a video about how to put cupboards up in your kitchen. Rumble's not too good for that. But outside of that, Rumble is the better video platforming. Let me try that again. Rumble is the better video platform for you to check out right there. And so when you're on Rumble, go ahead in the old search window up there in Rumble, just look up Beyond Formal, all one word, and or two words. And check out the great entertainment from Beyond Formal there. All right, here. Let me take a tug off my beer here. Again, go ahead and drink up, everybody. Okay, there we go. So let's do this here real quick here. Now, believe it or not, now this 2025 Fantastic Four movie is not the worst Fantastic Four movie that has ever been released, okay? Now, I got a feeling, I got a sneaking suspicion that some of you out there are like, you know what, man, you're full of shit, man. I don't believe you, man. I don't believe you. This could be the worst. This could be the worst right here. Okay. I've got definitive video proof for you that, this 2025 is not the worst, okay? Because it's definitely not the worst. It's good enough to where it will never claim the mantle of the worst, okay? But what is the worst? What is the worst Fantastic Four movie? Well, gaze upon this.
Before you see the latest take on Marvel's first family, see the film that doomed the franchise more than any doctor ever could. No, the other failure. No, people pretend they like that one now. There it is. The Fantastic Four, the Roger Corman bootleg one. Don't be asking us how he got it. Arr. Take a fantastic voyage back to 1994, when comic book movies were slapped together by bored hacks, and studios only made them to keep the rights. I mean, sure, that's still happening today, but back then, they had the decency to take it out back and shoot it before it could limp into theaters. Get ready to see the Fantastic Four like you've never wanted to see them before, as a community theater troupe that blew their budget 3 days into rehearsal.
I'm right here.
Look! Flame on!
With costumes courtesy of Jim Belushi's Creature Shop.
Look at me!
And no fight choreography.
What am I supposed to do with these guys?
Just a 90-minute info dump, barely disguised as a movie.
Stay here a while longer until we find out what's wrong.
There's always a scientific explanation for everything, ain't that right, Ben?
What should we do, Reed?
Reed, you're the only one alive that even knows the details of this experiment.
I can't take it anymore.
Same, buddy, same. Meet Reed Richards, a once promising researcher, or possibly college student.
Victor, we worked on this for 4 years, okay? I don't want to blow it. Neither do I.
Whose experiments always end in horrific disasters.
I'm in a fail! Ben, get us out of here!
What kind of a thing have I turned into?
But that won't make him any less condescending.
Take your own blood.
Okay.
As he unlocks the secrets of Colossus. Not Galactus, Colossus. Totally different. Definitely not legally actionable.
That's Colossus, Ma.
Not Galactus will turn them into the Fantastic Four, a super team powered by their worst flaws, like a BuzzFeed quiz of radiation.
It's made us feel that our worst character defects are in fact our greatest strengths.
Good thing I wasn't up there. No one wants to see how IBS Man fights. Rounding out the foursome is Ben Grimm, pilot, jock, and roommates of a single mom and her 2 kids for some reason.
Johnny and Susan go to outer space with us.
Now he's the Thing, a man who can finally answer what you smell when the Rock is cooking: foam rubber. Just don't get him angry, or this thing will turn into Patrick Star?
What have you done? What have you done? What kind of place is this?
Flanking the styrofoam are Johnny and Sue Storm. Johnny is just... man, I don't even know where to begin. Hyped up on Yoo-Hoo and Butterfinger BBs, maybe?
Did you believe that? Oh, God, it was unbelievable. What a ride, huh?
Flame on.
Whereas Sue is just an empty shell fascinated by Reed in a film that addresses the age gap between them by ripping the Band-Aid off and introducing her as a minor. Together, this space program made of one scientist, his college buddy, and 2 non-astronauts goes exactly as you'd expect for them, or wished for Jeff Bezos. They'll face off against the villainous Victor Von Doom, the self-declared king of Unnamendia.
Beautiful and charming little country. Thy supreme and beloved monarch.
Now, because he doesn't have to show his actual face in this embarrassment, one guy will have 10 times more fun than anyone either in or watching this movie.
I'm going to enjoy killing you very much.
In order to steal the powers of not Galactus for himself, he must face off against Mole Man. But Marvel wouldn't even let them touch Mole Man with this one. So they got the least iconic comic character since Arms Fall Off Boy, the Jeweler.
I can smell a diamond 100 miles away.
An impossible to describe hybrid of Hoggle from Labyrinth and Adam Sandler from Uncut Gems. Before you get too into him, don't forget, he's a vicious sexual predator.
Escort the Queen to my room. I need to have a private consultation. She's not to leave this room until I say so.
And it's all leading up to the most intense clash of zany henchmen since the Batman '66 movie.
We make no sudden moves. It would displease His Highness.
Choose one.
So prepare what's left of your mind for a movie you're legally not supposed to see that may not work as an adaptation of the source material or as an action movie. But in a world where superheroes have taken over every other genre, it's still the best example of the superhero daytime soap opera.
The burns were too severe. I'm very sorry.
I'm gonna get out of here. Don't stop me.
Starring Long Dick, Now You Sue Me, Every Flame a Painting, Fight Club, MF Dumb, Whack-A-Mole, Blind Field Delivered, I'm Yours, and Buttons.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Susan, enter the release sequence.
Got it.
Begin the transfer!
Putting on the turn signal and turning right.
For a few dollars less.
This is a little device I've been playing. I hope for your sake it's working well.
Most evil thing Doom ever did was invent the Zoom meeting. I've been here the whole time. Call me Doom. Darth Vader, you are the Father. People are like smell markers, and you're black licorice. Punishments will continue until morale improves.
All right, there you go. So what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Okay, would I steer you wrong? Of course not, all right? And to prove to you that I wouldn't steer you wrong as far as, you know, which movie is the worst Captain America. Fantastic Four movie. I provided you hardcore, irrefutable video evidence right there, and that's the 1994 Fantastic Four movie right there. Now, you know that's a cheap-ass movie because, you know, most movies in 1994, yes, obviously that was, 31 years ago, whenever. But movies look better than that. You know, the special effects look better than that. Not every movie in 1994 looked that cheesy. And, you know, the reason that one did is just because I think I had a whopping budget of like $1 million, and they only made it just so they could keep the rights to Fantastic Four there. But, Rebecca Staab, the blonde there, that you saw play Sue Storm there. You might have also seen her in a very bit part in the movie Love Potion #9 with Sandra Bullock and Tate Donovan back in the 90s there. But so yeah, the actress's name is Rebecca Staab or something like that. Probably Staab. Sounds a little less sinister there. But now, what you saw in there was what they didn't call him Galactus. They call him like Galaxus or something like that, or Galaxo or something like that, because they couldn't use, they didn't have the rights to Galactus in that 94 Fantastic Four movie right there. But they were able to use Galactus in the 2025 Fantastic Four First Steps movie right there, because yeah, Disney, Marvel, they got full rights to pretty much everything, or at least the major players in the Fantastic Four world, all that. And for me, Galactus, which who is the big bad in this Fantastic Four movie, just came off to me, like just a bunch of other big baddies that we've seen in other superhero movies. I mean, I'll give you like Ronin, Thanos, Ultron. I mean, all these big threats, these impending threats that our heroes have to fight. And you can only see so many of those movies where they have like a villain like that, and before you start just getting tired of it. You're like, oh god, okay. And in order to counter the formula and following the formula and following like this cookie cutter recipe and schedule here, you got to have good writing, man. You have to have good writing, a good screenplay that create endearing characters, interesting characters that you actually, give a shit about what happens to them there, because, you have to do something to fight the fact that, yes, this is a very formulaic movie, where superheroes go up against bad guys or bad, whatever, right? And so you have to fight and trudge through that somehow there. And this Fantastic Four movie, just wanted to give the the story with this movie right here. I mean, it's just it kind of met that requirement that the screenplay is intriguing enough to maybe kind of counter the formula of this movie here, but not to the extent it needed to. Okay, so not enough for me. Apparently not, because like I told you, I kept dozing off in this movie, even though I didn't want to. I mean, I wanted to be like I was for F1. I wanted to like just be glued to the screen and on the edge of my seat and just watching it. Whoa! Did that just happen? Oh my God! Wowie zowie! That happened! Oh my God! What's going on over there? I wanted to be glued and enthralled with the movie, but this movie just didn't do it for me right there. So, but and Galactus didn't do it for me either. He's just like yet another big bad in another Marvel movie, a la Thanos and Ronin and Ultron and so on and so forth there. So was it was the one from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, like was it Ramfair or something like that, or I don't know, it was like some dude lives under the ocean or something. I can't remember what his name is. Some whack ass bad guy in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever right there. Remember they tried to replace, they tried to make Chadwick Boseman or T'Challa's sister the new Black Panther, and that didn't work out too well, not at all there. So, but now I do like, just to balance out all the negative that I have to say about this movie, I will say I do like how they had the theme of family in this movie. Okay, this is the movie that I've seen family mentioned even more than Vin Diesel and all the Fast and Furious movies, right? He's always talking about family. All right, the family's got to go. We got to be family or La Familia. Always talk about family, right? And nothing wrong with that. I like that in a movie there. And so, we've got Reed Richards and Sue Storm and Johnny Storm, and then you got Ben Grimm. And Ben Grimm isn't related by blood, but just by the fact that they all just are bonded together, as a family of sorts. Makes them just one big fantastic family there, and I did like that, and I'd like the mentality of, or not the mentality, but like just the plot point of, Sue and Reed expecting, and then they give birth to Franklin Richards, and then you see Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm being like these great uncles. So you got two great parents with Sue and Reed, and they got the two great uncles with Ben and Johnny there. So it's kind of a cool throwback, plot point, to better movie days of yore, where movies didn't frown upon family and family values and all that stuff. I definitely like that. Hey, I got the Whiskey Capitalist podcast up in the live chat right there. Hey, welcome here, and saying, "Sup, dude? Don't want the spoilers, but gonna leave this on mute in the background. Just wanted to pop in." Well, I appreciate that. There you go, and I fully respect that right there. Not wanting to have this movie spoiled, and I appreciate you mentioning that, because that does remind me to let you guys know again that yes, this show does have a lot of spoilers in it. Okay, or it has spoilers. I don't buy a lot of spoilers, but it has spoilers in it, because in this show, I don't worry about whether or not I drop a spoiler here or there or not. The show has spoiler warning in the title of the show, for God's sakes, right? But if you still want to help me out, what you can do is you can fire the show up on Rumble, YouTube, any of those two platforms, because that's where it gets played live, and then just put it on mute. That's it. That's what I do with some other people's shows, like my friends, like Beyond Formal, in the Whiskey Capitalist podcast, and other shows on Rumble like theirs that were also friends of mine. If I don't have time to watch the show, I'm in the middle of doing something else. Well, I just start the show. I play their show on some laptop or computer in some other room that I'm not even using, and I just put it on mute. Or if it's not a spoiler show, I don't mute it. But maybe I go off and I do something else that I have to concentrate on there, and that gets them the watch minutes. That counts as you watching the show, and that helps them out. So yeah, if you want to do the same thing for the show, my show tonight, Movies America Spoiler Warning, and other Movies America shows in the future, then yeah, feel free to just fire up the show. Just hit play on this show while it's live, and then just put it on mute if you don't want to listen to it there for whatever reason, or don't put it on mute and listen in there. So I appreciate that. But good to see you guys. The Whiskey Capitalist podcast joining me in the live chat, and that's another show to search for on Rumble, is the Whiskey Capitalist podcast there on the Furycast network, just like I am on right there. So, but all right, let's do this here real quick. I want to change things up here, and I'm also getting very, very thirsty. Okay, and so when I get very, very thirsty, when I start getting parched, my mouth just starts getting all like dry as a desert. That's usually my body telling me that it is indeed time for brew review time. All right, everybody. So let's say hello to this episode's brew of the evening. All right. And that brew would be one Bell's Porter, okay, or Robust Porter, okay. And Bell's is out of, I don't care what the label says, or it says Comstock, Michigan. It's really headquartered in Kalamazoo, Michigan, right there. But Bell's is a fantastic brewery. One of their other brews, their Two Hearted Ale, that is my hands down favorite beer. It's my go-to beer. So their Bell's Two Hearted Ale, fantastic. It's just a very easy drinking beer. Okay, but they don't just make the Two Hearted Ale. They also obviously make this Robust Porter right here, and this has got a tip-top balance of like roasted malt flavors and some hop bitterness, but it's not too bitter. Okay, it's not gonna like knock you out of your chair when you drink it. Like, oh my god, ugh, that's freaking bitter. Oh god, ugh. No, it's not that. Okay, it's not that bitter. It's a tasty a sip, tasty type of bitterness. If I could stammer that out right there. And you get notes of chocolate and coffee and roasted barley. And let me take a sniff off this thing. Yeah, you get like that coffee and chocolate smell in the nose as well with this robust porter there. And as far as like food pairings go with this, I could see myself downing some really like juicy barbecue with this robust porter here. Take, for example, just some succulent, beef briskets or something like that. You could wash that down with something like this robust porter right there. So, and this is the type of brew that bridges that gap between, malty brown ales and heavily roasted stouts, okay? So stouts are like a little stronger than a porter, and then you got your brown ales that are not quite as strong, don't hit you quite as hard as a porter. So that's why, some would call a porter like this robust porter from Bell's kind of like a bridge over the gap between those two different types of beers, a brown ale and a stout there. And you know what? It is a tasty, tasty bridge. Okay, I will tell you that. I am going to say it right here. I do recommend the robust porter here, and I'm not getting any money from Bell's at all. So this is a completely objective, non-biased review of this brew right here. If it tasted like shit, I would tell you. Believe me. Okay, there you go. But I would check it out. So like 5.6 alcohol by volume here, and it's a kind of a medium-bodied brew. Again, hey, you know what? You could do worse than go with some robust porter, while you're chomping down some barbecue ribs or some some pulled pork or something like that. And now I'm making myself hungry for barbecue. So yeah, good job, Van. Now I just want to go ahead and just robust, just tear up some barbecue. That's for sure. So, but hey, I got to stay laser focused on the task at hand, and that is brew review time, which we are wrapping up right now. All right, here. Hey, I thought I saw something else out of my right eye, and that's Professor Savage Dad, or as I call him, PSD for short there. And welcome to the show, Professor Savage Dad. Thanks for hopping in the old live chat. And what he says here is the truth. Absolutely. I bet Pedro Pascal can't drink a beer that thick. Yeah, well, but I got a feeling he likes other things pretty thick, though, if you know what I'm saying. There, he can handle some other things that have some thickness to it there, and that's what he prefers. And also goes on to say, Professor Savage Dad goes on to say, the only thing he can drink is man piss. There you go. Oh, so Bud Light is what you're saying. Okay, there you go. Bud Light, or that's probably Coors Light. Bud Light would be more a tranny fluid, is what that's all about right there. But yeah, Pedro Pascal. Yep, no love for that guy right there. There you go. Yep, I'm not going to read that, but I agree right there. So yeah, the sign over his ass definitely doesn't say "do not enter." Okay, I think it probably just says something like "fun zone" or "park your missile" right here, something like that. There you go. That's Pedro Pascal's speed right there. Okay, and that has been the Pedro Pascal Minute. All right, so let's move on with the rest of the show, shall we? And let me just take a minute here to just remind you guys that down in the description, we have a link, a very special link, okay? And that is the link to our Movies America merch, our merchandise, okay? And one of the things that you can get down there as far as Movies America merch is a Movies America t-shirt. And you can get it in all kinds of different colors, okay? But we don't just have T-shirts. We don't just have Movies America T-shirts. I got Movies America shot glasses, jewelry. You got cell phone cases, yoga pants. I mean, are you getting the picture? I mean, all kinds of different types of merch that you would never imagine that you would have Movies America emblazoned across on right there. So it's almost like just worth going to the Movies America merch store just to like see, like, oh my God, they have Movies America emblazoned on that and that. Oh my God, like it's just worth going there just for that. Okay, and again, we're making it very easy for you to go down to the Movies America merch. Go to the Movies America merch store because we have the Movies America merch link in the description down below. So click on that and yeah, get yourself some good merch. Or hey, if you're particularly generous, hey, gift some Movies America merch to a loved one right there. So I mean, nothing makes an anniversary gift. Nothing makes for an anniversary gift better than some Movies America merch. Okay, get your wife, instead of getting her that sparkly diamond ring that she's had her eye on, save yourself some bucks. Get her a Movies America t-shirt that's a couple size too big, and you won't end up at all on the couch for a couple of months. Not at all. She'll be jumping into your arms, okay, quicker than you can say divorce lawyer, okay? There you go. Absolutely, okay? I would be remiss if I didn't add also, if you put in promo code MOVIES when you go to checkout, you are going to get free shipping. That's right, free shipping on all your Movies America merch right there, all right? So pretty sweet? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't say I never did anything for you. Come on. All right, give Daddy Van his flowers right there. Give me a little credit. Right there. I'm trying to look out for the little guy. All right, the little guy and the little gals right there. Okay, so all right, and to that, let me take a tug off this bad boy. All right, there you go. They don't call it Thirsty Thursday for nothing because I am thirsty, and I am drinking here on a Thursday night or pre-Friday. There we go. It's almost the weekend, everybody. Almost the weekend there. But yeah, more Fantastic Four first steps. I think that I did like how Vanessa Kirby did play Sue Storm. That she was good. She really put forth that maternal energy out there where she feels like the proper matriarch to the Fantastic Four family there, and you could tell that everybody on the team loves her, and she portrays herself as a good mother to Franklin, their son there, and she also she can handle herself in the show there with her powers. She's got like this force field power in addition to being able to turn invisible as well, and she has some good superhero moments in this movie. And I always like Vanessa Kirby ever since we really got to know her in the Mission Impossible Fallout movie. That's where most of the world was introduced to Vanessa Kirby when she played the White Widow in 2018's Mission Impossible Fallout there. So when I saw her in that movie, I'm like, okay, it's a force to reckon with right here. Maybe it's just the way that her White Widow character was written, but hey, I'm intrigued. Now, they did kind of make her White Widow character in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, or I guess we're supposed to just call it Dead Reckoning, no Part 1 anymore. They did kind of make their White Widow character a little cartoonish, a little campy in that one right there. But hey, she doesn't write the script, okay? It's like Christopher McQuarrie and somebody else maybe right there. But yeah, Vanessa Kirby, yeah. So again, yeah, you guys, you probably would know her as the White Widow in a couple of Mission Impossible movies there. I don't think she was in the last one. I don't think she was. Yeah, I think she was. She was not in the final. Was it the Final Reckoning or whatever it was? There, they really like the word reckoning, I guess, in Mission Impossible world there. But and then Joseph Quinn, he plays Johnny Storm, and we first saw him as Eddie in Stranger Things, and he was fantastic as Eddie in Stranger Things. I could see why the world took notice of Joseph Quinn in that. He hasn't really done much of note, I don't think, since then, except for he was in the movie Warfare, a couple months ago, that Iraq war war drama directed by Alex Garland. Or was it written there by? It was written by. No, anyway, yeah, I was I think it was written. Anyway, Alex Garland had something to do with it. Okay, but Joseph Quinn was involved with the movie Warfare, and so he was halfway decent in that movie. Warfare, that's another one of my favorite movies of this year. Warfare is worth checking out. I'm sure that's on live streaming now because that did about as well as at the theaters as would say putting up my senior pictures up on a movie screen and expecting people to pay to see those right there. It did about as well as that. So yeah, Warfare was in the movie theaters for about 5 minutes, made about $5, and then was on live streaming about 5 minutes after it initially was in the theaters. And so yeah, trust me, I'm sure you can find Warfare on live streaming right now and check it out. It's a good movie with Joseph Quinn. But now, of course, he's Johnny. I was about to say Johnny Fever. he's Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four First Steps, and he does a halfway decent job. Chris Evans is better though. Chris Evans' portrayal of the Human Torch, aka Johnny Storm, was better. Right there, Chris Evans is. There's a couple of roles that Chris Evans was born to play. The Human Torch and Captain America. Okay. Sorry, not sorry, Anthony Mackie. Nope, you're not Captain America. Not at all. So, and then of course you've got Wyatt Russell, and he plays like an offshoot of Captain America. I think he's not. I think he's supposed to be a different Captain America than the one that Chris Evans passed down to Anthony Mackie right there. But anyway, so I think that covers Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. And then you have I forget the actor's name. He's the actor is a douche in real life, so I'm not really worried about getting his name right. But the guy who plays Ben Grimm or the Thing, and I don't know. There's absolutely nothing about like his portrayal of the Thing that really just got me all excited, except for, I did like the scene where, the kids are, yelling at him like, hey, lift that car over there. And he's just there to entertain the kids. It's kind of a nice, heartwarming, touching moment where, he's like this big, strong superhero lug dude. And, one of the things he loves to do is like, make the kids smile and laugh and do whatever he can to give them a show. So they ask him to pick up the Volkswagen Beetle and he lifts it up. And so that's kind of a nice scene there. And I always felt for Ben Grimm, that's one of the plot points of Fantastic Four. It's like, now he's been transformed into this thing, right? And he can't function, he can't behave and interact, and live his life like a normal human man here. And there's they put a character in this movie portrayed by Natosha Lyonne, where she's like a school teacher, and they portray her as a guy or as a woman that's interested in the Thing, or AKA Ben Grimm there. And so I guess they're trying to portray like the Thing is going to have a love interest right there. Now I'm not sure how the logistics of sex is going to work in that relationship right there. I think they're going to have to operate very, very delicately right there. But yeah, it looks like, Natosha Lyonne's character does want things. So, and I'll just leave it at that. All right. And then we have like a Pedro Pascal, and of course he plays Reed Richards. And Pedro Pascal, he's one of those guys, much like Joseph Quinn, where the first thing that I ever saw him in, first role that I ever saw him in, was very impressive. Very impressive. But he really grabbed my attention and didn't let go. And that's when Pedro Pascal played Oberyn Martell, a.k.a. the Viper, in Game of Thrones. Okay. And his portrayal of Oberyn Martell in that was it season 5 or 6 or whatever it was dynamic. All right, it was electrifying. I was like, wow, this guy, this character kicks ass. All right, outstanding. I mean, it's just very charismatic, very electrifying, a great character. And a little less electrifying was when the next role that I saw Pedro Pascal in, and that's when he was in a season of Narcos on Netflix there. And so, and his role in that wasn't supposed to be, as charismatic and electrifying as Oberyn Martell. It's just kind of a DEA agent going after Pedro or Pablo Escobar there. So he's pretty good in that. And then pretty soon he just was starting to be in everything and just putting forth bland performances in everything that he was in, including up until Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, him being kind of like being the acting equivalent to a bowl of cold oatmeal actually works for the character of Reed Richards, okay? Because Reed Richards isn't supposed to be like this charismatic, exciting, like fly by the seat of his pants, dynamic, charismatic character. No, he's supposed to be kind of like very stoic, buttoned up, that kind of thing, like very important and regal, and no time for dilly dally, no time for nonsense, that kind of character there. And so Pedro Pascal's kind of just stone-faced, low energy, acting performances that he's had in the last few projects that I've seen him in. Actually works very well for the character of Reed Richards in this right there. So he's okay in this movie, but again, just like everything else in this movie, it's not enough for me to rightfully recommend that you guys go see this at the movies whatsoever. So I'm not going to do that to you. All right, I'd have to kick my own ass if I recommended you guys go see this movie. Not going to do that whatsoever here. So let me double check here. I want to make sure to do some house cleaning here, and there we go. Love it. All right. Well, hey everybody. I believe, and I'm excited about it. I believe that we are at my favorite segments of every Movies America spoiler warning episode there. And that, of course, would be the movie military moment. And so that's the few minutes I give myself to honor a recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor. Okay, so a military service member, someone that was awarded the CMH, or the Congressional Medal of Honor. And I'm ex-mil, I'm ex-military, and so people in the military and the armed forces and what they do for our country means a lot to me. Okay, it means a lot to me. And right now, I can just imagine that maybe there's somebody out there, rightfully so, asking yourself like, hey, that's great, Van, that you want to pay homage, want to pay tribute to a recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but what the hell does that have to do with movies, man? What are you getting at, man? Come on, what are you trying to pull here, man? So, and you know what? You're right. I do owe you an explanation on that very thing, all right? But not until after this. All right. Yes, I owe you an explanation here. So the connection between movies and me honoring a recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor is this. Okay. So as you would imagine, if you are awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, okay, you don't get it for being the best boot polisher on the base. You don't get it for being the best ass kisser on the base. You don't get it for being the best letter sorter at the base post office, okay, or eating the most chow at the chow hall. No, you get the Congressional Medal of Honor for doing something that is just something to behold to your eyes, something amazing, something like that is just otherworldly almost, right? To behold with your eyes, okay? So, picture you're a Marine and you're on Iwo Jima. You're storming the beaches of Iwo Jima in World War II, and you see a Japanese pillbox over there, and you see all your buddies over there, and the Japanese pillbox, they're about to just spray your buddies down. They're about to just mow them down, with their gunfire, with their firearms or whatever. And you're like, I could shoot them, but I can't because I got no ammo. I'm totally out of ammo, but I got this one grenade, okay? And so you go in there and you drop the grenade in there, you take them out, and then you see another group of, Japs, and you find, a rifle, a BAR laying on the beach. BAR stands for Browning automatic rifle. You grab that BAR, you start mowing down the Japs without any kind of a concern for your own safety because you've got no cover whatsoever, and you're saving lives left and right. And just say like you're another Marine and you're like pretty much a spectator and you're watching this all go down, all right? And you're watching and you're like, oh my God, what a hero. Oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, I better get up. I'm going to die. You're a helicopter pilot in Nam, right? And you're flying, you're Huey into a hot LZ or a landing zone, right? You're at Huey. It's taking fire left and right. The VC are lighting up your helicopter with small arms fire and RPG fire. And you're like, man, they could blow my helicopter right out of the sky at any minute, And your captain's on the squawk box going, get that helicopter back up. You get the chopper back here. The taxpayers are paying for that. You're not paying for that. You crash that chopper, I'm taking out of your pay, man. And you're like, Captain, sorry, man. I can't obey that order. I can't come back. We got wounded on the ground. We got to get those wounded out, evacuated. Otherwise, they're going to die. And I got supplies in the back of this chopper. I got to get back. I got to get it down to the troops, or they're all going to die, man. I got to do my job. And so you're a helicopter pilot. And you're landing in this hot LZ. And you're saving lives right there. And again, someone is watching that all go down. You're like, oh my God, look at that pilot. Oh my God, that RPG almost just took him out. Holy shit, what a hero. And if you saw that on a big movie screen in front of you, that would be a hell of a movie military moment, okay? See the connection? Yeah, there you go. That's the connection right there, all right? So, and if that explanation doesn't suffice, too bad. It's gonna have to suffice right there, okay? And so for tonight's recipient, or honoree, I should say, for in this movie military moment, is Private Carlton William Barrett, who fought for us in World War II, and looks like it's specifically the action that earned him the Medal of Honor took place in France, to be specific, right there. Okay, and we're going to learn more about Private Carlton William Barrett. But as we do, I think Private Barrett deserves his own badass movie military moment music, don't you? I mean, I think that's the least we could do for him. I mean, he's a hero. He's a war hero, and he won the Congressional Medal of Honor. So, to that end, let's get the Private his badass movie military moment music. This is the movie military moment. And for this movie military moment, we pay tribute to one Private Carlton William Barrett, who fought for this country in World War II, in France, to be more specific. And let's find out more about Private Barrett, shall we? For gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty on 6 June 1944 in the vicinity of Saint-Laurent-sur-Mer, France. On the morning of D-Day, Private Barrett, landing in the face of extremely heavy enemy fire, was forced to wade ashore through neck-deep water. Disregarding the personal danger, he returned to the surf again and again to assist his floundering comrades and save them from drowning. Refusing to remain pinned down by the intense barrage of small arms and mortar fire poured at the landing points, Private Barrett worked working with fierce determination, saved many lives by carrying casualties to an evacuation boat lying offshore. In addition to his assigned mission as guide, he carried dispatches the length of the fire-swept beach. He assisted the wounded, he calmed the shocked, he arose as a leader in the stress of the occasion. His coolness and his dauntless daring courage, while constantly risking his life during a period of many hours, had an inestimable effect on his comrades and is in keeping with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. And we salute you, Private Carlton William Barrett, for what you did to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for your actions on D-Day in France right there. And that has been the movie Military Moment. All right. Yeah, sounds like the old Private, man. He did a whole lot right there. I'm just picturing him. Maybe he, when you see old footage of the D-Day landings there on Omaha Beach, Utah Beach, and other parts of the attack zone right there, that, hey, maybe, one of those brave soldiers there attacking the beach, could be Private Barrett, who we just talked about right there. And, of course, the most famous portrayal of that D-Day landing is Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan, the first, 20 minutes of that movie. And even though there are some historical inaccuracies there in that scene right there, most people aren't going to notice them. But it is still, despite that, it's an intense, bloody, grotesque, visceral, portrayal and retelling of just the horror of that day, right? I mean, just brave men being killed, by the thousands, within, seconds and minutes on that day right there. Just the casualties, the amount of bodies, and just the carnage there that day as these heroes, a lot of them probably knew that they weren't going to come home. And, that's why, you saw a lot of them, just the nerves got to them before they hit the beach. I mean, you saw that portrayed as well in Saving Private Ryan. People just, yakking, on the Higgins boats, that they were landing, on the beach with there. And they're kissing their crucifixes and, praying that God keeps them alive, that they live to see their loved ones again. And unfortunately, many of them did not. They did not. They did not get the luxury that you or I get, where we live in, cozy, cuddly comforts, and we get to see our loved ones, whenever we want. Most of us get that there. They never got that. They met their end, on a beach in France there. And so Private Carlton William Barrett, our honoree for tonight, he was one of those guys that could have been a guy like that. But, fortunately for him, he did survive that day in spite of, the heroic actions, the clear heroic actions that I just described to you there. Okay. But just to let you guys know that you guys don't have to wait for me to do the movie Military Moment to check out, the heroic actions of these Congressional Medal of Honor recipients. You can go to the website cmohs.org/recipients and read all about these warriors. There are these heroes there that I like to pay honor to every Thursday night as part of every movie or every Movies America spoiler warning episode right there. Okay. But again, with that has been our movie Military Moment. All right, let's do this here. Let's do a little housekeeping here. And all right. So real quick here, just let me clue you in and give you a heads up on something here. And that something is the fact that if you're checking out this show here live and you appreciate what I'm doing here enough to throw a buck or two my way, well, you most certainly can do that. If you're appreciating me honoring the Congressional Medal of Honor recipients, or giving you a heads up on whether it's worth seeing a movie at the theater, which can save you a lot of money. So because I am potentially saving people over $100. If you've got a family and you can't just go to the movie by yourself. Okay, you always got to bring your wife, or your husband and your 4 or 5 kids, and that adds up real quick. Well, if I am saving you, if I'm advising you not to go see that movie and saving you all that money, well, a buck or two, might not be the worst, might be appropriate, but if you aren't vibing with that sentiment right there, that's totally cool. All right, I'm not going to guilt trip you and throw in a buck or two my way right there. Or like on my Sunday show, Movies America Live, I do the segment, Is the Movie a Woke After School Special? And if you appreciate me giving you a heads up whether a movie is woke and thus, not worth your money or your time, and I save you money that way as well. If you appreciate something like that, then again, throw a buck or two or 5 or 10 or 100 my way if you want. And so the way you do that, I'm about to describe to you how you can do that if you want. And the way you do that in Rumble is down by where you type in your live chat message. You just got to click on the button with a $sign on it. And when you click on that, it'll just ask you how much you want to donate. You answer that, and then you just hit OK or pay or whatever it is there. And that's it. Very easy. And then if you're checking me out on YouTube, down by where you type in your live chat message, okay? And if you don't see that yet, just hit the chat button in YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, chat or live chat, it's something like that, right? And when you click that, it'll bring up another window, okay? And down at the bottom of that window, it'll have a button with a dollar bill on it. And you just got to click on that dollar bill. And again, it'll just ask you how much you want to throw this guy's way. And that's it. Very simple, very easy right there. But again, that's only if you're compelled to throw some money my way right there. I know that we're not everyone's got the money. Sometimes you got to tighten that old belt right there. Am I right or am I right there? So, all right. So, hey, right now I'm going to wrap it up a little early here tonight But this next week right here, we did Fantastic Four First Steps this past week here. We did that tonight. And so we're going to have a new movie, to talk about on Sunday, and then a week from tonight on Movies America Spoiler Warning next Thursday. And that new movie is going to be the remake of The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson there. And by God, they better not jack it up, because what nerve to remake a classic like The Naked Gun. Okay, so they better get that damn thing right. Okay. And but I am not going to be talking about The Naked Gun alone. All right. So this Sunday on Movies America Live, I'm going to have Adam from Vets Talking on the show here to talk some Naked Gun with me. And so, of course, I got to go see The Naked Gun this weekend. And, then I'll be talking with Adam about that on the Movies America Live show. And it would probably help if I told you what time that comes on this Sunday, right? And so that comes on at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central, 2 Mountain, and 1 Pacific. Okay, that's this Sunday afternoon on Rumble or YouTube, or Rumble and YouTube. Okay, and you'll be able to get the quick links to watch that show on Sunday morning. You can check the links to that show on X or Facebook there, so you'll see the links to it there under. Just look for Movies America or at Movies America on X or Facebook, and you'll see the links to the show. Or again, you can hit the notification bell down there, and you'll get an email with the link there to the episode this Sunday as well. So, and then also, if you would, once you get the link there, feel free to just forward that link to anybody that you even imagine is into movies whatsoever, particularly The Naked Gun. Okay, I know there's a lot of fans of the original, Leslie Nielsen Naked Gun classic, from 1988 right there. And this movie's going to have to work really hard to even be in the same atmosphere as the original Naked Gun right there, or any of its sequels. Okay. And so we'll see. We'll see. All right. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be, it better be, it better be on its best behavior. That movie better be funny as hell. Okay. So check that out right there. But and the show on Sunday, that's spoiler free. You don't have to worry about any spoilers on Movies America Live on Sunday right there. Okay. So yeah, let me double check here, make sure we've got everything good to go. Real quick here, let me implore you, if you would follow me on all the platforms that I'm on. I'm on X, I'm on Gab, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Rumble. Okay, I'm on just in any platform. Instagram, I'm on Instagram. Any platform you can think of, chances are I'm on there. And I'm on there under the handle of @MoviesAmerica. Okay, very easy, very simple. Okay, @MoviesAmerica. Okay, and if you see me a couple of times, 2 or 3 times on Rumble, you might see a couple of 2 or 3 Movies America accounts on Rumble. Hey, go ahead and follow me if you would on all 3 of them. That'd be fantastic. There on YouTube, it's a little harder. It's under the Till Death Podcast Network on YouTube, but follow that. Subscribe to that there as well. And you know what? It's not like there's nothing in it for you, okay? Because feel free to, if you want, DM me or direct message me on X and let me know, hey, Van, I followed you on that platform and this platform and that platform, and I will follow you back on that same platform there because you were cool enough, you were nice enough to scratch my back. I'm going to scratch your back too in the most non-gay way possible. Okay, there you go. All right. What else have I left out there? So I think that's it. We're about to ready to wrap this bad boy up here. And I just want to say thanks to everybody that has joined the show here as I look for my cursor. Where's it at? I want to thank everybody for, especially the ones I got in the live chat there. We got Professor Savage Dad and Beyond Formal and the Whiskey Capitalist podcast. And we had Jim in the live chat on the YouTube side there. Jim Milton on the YouTube side right there, among other people in the live chat there. And so just want to thank everybody for spending at least some of their time with this show. And then also to you who are watching the recording of this. Okay, if you guys are watching this later on, hey, thanks to you guys as well from me for watching this show. And feel free to forward this episode to whoever you want there, because I know there's a lot of movie lovers out there, and they do appreciate a heads up on whether a movie is worth watching or not. And with me, you get the real man's perspective, the regular dude's perspective, not some haughty Hollywood movie critic or anything like that. Just as regular dude, swilling beer and eating Doritos and scarfing down nutty bars and all that stuff, giving you the real, the regular guy perspective on movies right there. So just forward it to anybody that you want to forward it to. So, all right, I've stalled enough there. But like I always say, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/moviesmerica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies America. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies America live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesamerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @MoviesAmerica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the Popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.